MAGA Republicans do not respect the Constitution. The Republican Party today is dominated, driven, and intimidated by Donald Trump and the MAGA Republicans. Folks, this ain't your father's Republican Party. This is a different breed of cat. We, the people, must decide whether the rule of law will prevail, whether we will allow the dark forces to thirst for power.
President Biden routinely trashing Republicans on the campaign trail instead of tackling the issues that matter most to voters. Now, Democrats are hoping this election is not a referendum on Joe Biden. Eric Trump is the executive vice president of the Trump Organization, and he joins me now. Eric, welcome to the program. Look, we all know this will be a referendum on Joe Biden. What's your prediction? What does the map look like by the end of tonight?
Well, it better be good, Todd. Otherwise, I think we've lost our country, and I really mean that. I mean, if a MAGA Republican is somebody that stands for, freedom of religion, greatest economy, lowest unemployment, strongest military, best schools, loving the American flag, being able to actually live the American dream, not having wars all over the world, getting American soldiers out of war zones around the world and not having constant conflict, being respected by the entire world, taking on China, North Korea, and keeping countries like that in their place. I guess I'm a MAGA Republican. My father did a phenomenal job, and you look at every accomplishment that he had get flushed down the drain by just incompetent leadership, and I think people see that. My father's a guy who fought for this nation. He woke up every single day. He loved this country. He put America first, and it seems like these guys do the exact opposite, and that's why you see the problems in the world, and I think people are going to vote because you have an awful border, you have terrible economy right now, you have rampant inflation, you've got horrible gas prices. I mean, these are really hitting people, and I think you're going to see that today.
Do you think Republicans take the Senate?
I do. I think people need to get out and vote, right? I mean, I hate even saying that because it sounds so cliche, but it's going to be, who shows up today? And people have to get out there and vote, and it's critically important. I mean, our Supreme Court is number one, obviously. It's why you need to go out and, make sure these senators win.
Once 2022 is done, speculation begins to 2024. Who knows? That could be by Wednesday. Of course, the big question, former President Trump, your dad, about to launch. Is he about to launch a presidential run in 2024?
Well, listen, the real story is I'll let him announce when he wants to announce, Todd. But I'm telling you, as a son, I've never been more proud of the man. I mean, I campaigned for years telling people that you would never find a harder working president. He's the greatest man in the world. He was the greatest father to us. And he fundamentally just did a phenomenal job for this country. He did a great job for this nation. And, the entire world, we have, we know people all over the world, and they miss the leadership of the United States right now because there's a major, major vacuum. And I'm telling you, Todd, I'll be the first person, if he decides to make that announcement, I will be the first person by his side on that stage. I will work tirelessly. Our entire family will. We need to take back this country. It's a mess what's happening right now.
You obviously live in Florida. Your father recently, I don't want to say attacked, but he had a colorful nickname for Florida Governor Ron DeSantis. Does he think Governor DeSantis could possibly be his toughest primary challenger?
Well, on Sunday night, my father actually went out and was campaigning for DeSantis in Miami. They had 30,000 people. He also campaigned for Rubio. I mean, my father got DeSantis elected. There's just no question about that. I mean, DeSantis has credited him many times with that, right? He was relatively no name when he first came in, and it built a kind of great reputation over that period of time. At the same time, you're going to have, Todd, you're going to have a lot of people who want to split the MAGA vote. I'm talking about the Rhino Republicans, right? You have a lot of people who are going to try and split the MAGA vote, right? Who are afraid of my father, who otherwise might not like him. These Rhino Republicans, the Jeb Bushes, the Paul Ryans, many others, and I think you're going to see these games play out for a very, very long time. They want to pit two powerful Republicans against one another. It's all part of their game, and they're certainly going to try and split that vote. And so it's it's something that the party has to be very, very careful of.
Another big issue in this midterm season, it obviously is all about the economy. It's all about crime, but it's also about the investigation the Republicans could potentially undergo if they take over the House and if they take over the Senate. Hunter Biden's former business partner, Tony Bobulinski, reportedly ready to testify before a House panel investigating Biden corruption if Republicans take back the gavel. Eric, do you ever think we will really know what happened?
Well, we should. Todd, I haven't been investigated every single day of the last 6 years. So is Don. So is Ivanka. So is my father, our entire family. You've seen how ruthless they've been. millions and millions of pages, literally hundreds and hundreds of subpoenas. I'm probably the most subpoenaed person in the country, just trying to find anything they possibly could to take on our family, to go after us, to destroy us. And you know what? We've all lived incredibly clean lives. Thank God we have. On the flip side, you've got a guy who did a lot of illegal things, did a lot of illegal drugs, prostitution, all sorts of other things, illegal foreign deals all over the world, was taking money out of every single country while his father was, vice president. It's all on a laptop, which is all publicly disclosed. There are people out there, whistleblowers, who are going out saying, I'm trying to talk to the FBI, and no one's even listening. I mean, the scales of justice in this country are so one-sided. If you're a Democrat, you can get away with murder. If you're a Republican, they will try and find anything they can to try and take you down, to try and take you out. And we've lived that as a family. We have more arrows in us than anybody from these games. And so I'm not into just investigations for the sake of investigations, but you look at what was on that laptop, Todd. I mean, it's insane. And you look at the cover-ups, and you look at the Facebook cover-up and the Twitter cover-up, and I mean, it's got to stop. I mean, it's got to stop. There has to be equal justice under the laws, and we don't have that anymore. And I think that's going to be really a decisive factor for today, frankly, because I think people are seeing a justice system that's being weaponized every single day, and a legal system which is, frankly, no longer just.
The Hill says Republicans on the House Oversight Committee, the panel set to lead the probes if the GOP formally takes control of the chamber next year, are planning a press conference about their investigation into the Bidens literally the week after the election. So, Eric, at the end of the day, will anyone ultimately be held accountable?
If we have a proper system, they should be, Todd. I mean, the evidence is there, right? The pictures are there. I mean, what more do you need to see? The emails are there. If I ever had an email saying, why don't you give 15% to the big guy, right? We got out of business when my father got into politics. It's very different for the Bidens, who got into business when Joe Biden became vice president. I mean, his son's flying around the world on Air Force Two, effectively standing up countries for, massive payments, and it's wrong.
Eric Trump, thank you so much for joining us. It's going to be a busy night, busy week, busy month. We appreciate your time kicking us off.
Great to be on, Todd.
I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.